Well, welcome back to another adventure. Today we're in Whitecourt, Alberta, and we're going to the Forest Interpretive Centre. So we're going to go and check out some old buildings and some antiques. So let's go in and check it out. Even here you can get fresh water and dump your sewers. So it's nice when you have an RV. Now they even have a display here too of the wildlife that you got to be aware of when you're walking the trails and everything here. So I thought maybe I'd show you guys this. You always got to be careful of wildlife. So as you can see here, you can bring the family, and there's nice paved walk trails. You can go spend the whole day here just walking trails or riding your mountain bike. So I thought I'd just give you a glimpse of that. So here at the Forest Interpretive Centre, there's a building here that I haven't really been into, so we're going to go inside and check it out. Before we go in, I noticed this sign here, and they found this redwood tree stump that's estimated to be 65 million years old.
That's crazy.
Here we are, that tree stump. It's just like one big rock. As you can see, it's as hard as a rock. I just think that used to be a tree stump at one time. I think that's quite interesting. All right, let's go into the building and see what's inside. Hi there. It's kind to see inside here.
Well, you're welcome to look around. We do have a museum that's free, so you're welcome to walk through there if you'd like.
Great.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. There's an old jukebox. Came out of the Royal Canadian Legion. I'll just show you guys this if I can. Yeah, that's something you don't see every day. Here inside, they got a museum. So let's go in and check the museum out. Well, here they got a cougar in here. That's really neat to see.
Look at. Wow.
Yeah.
This is cool.
They've got a spruce grouse. They've got a pheasants. There's a horned owl.
Look at him up there.
Say hello, everybody.
That is so cool.
Check these out. Let's check this buddy out. Say hey, buddy.
Cool?
Welcome to the show. And we've got some partridges.
Oh, northern hawk owl over here too. Great horned owl, that one.
There's a gray horned owl.
This here is a northern hawk owl.
Oh, a northern hawk owl.
That is so cool. And look at this little fella. Oh.
There's a robin. And some of the
Pheasant.
bird species around here.
He's got that thing.
And this guy, he's got his lunch.
I want to touch this bait down.
Say, welcome to Measures Adventures. Here's the old town center clock. Donated by the Whitecourt Rexall Pharmacy. Well, that's interesting. Check this thing out. Was that ever cool? See, it's amazing. You bring your family to Whitecourt, wherever, and such things you can come and see. I'd say that's a surveyor's tool. It's a, what do you call it, a transit?
Yep. I don't know what this is though. What is this, like a big come along?
I'm not sure what that thing is. What is that sucker?
Oh, is it a grapple hook?
Well, I'm just wondering if you have for picking up trees, maybe? I don't know.
I'll have to ask Gord. Look, it's your old two-ways, eh? Look at this thing.
Is that? What do you got in here? There's an old radio. Some neat stuff in here.
What is that? These little medicine things?
What's that baseball? What's that say?
John Dahl's baseball glove. He was about 5 or 6 years old. Look at that baseball glove and look at the bat.
Yeah, that'd
Look
be
at
good
their,
for
what is
bunking
this?
fish.
Coke, sulfur, sand. What would they have that for?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You got me on that one.
Here's a compass.
Minerals from Alberta?
I don't know.
I betcha. So, this is one thing we do have around here. And that's grizzly bears. Look how big that sucker is. And as you can see beside me, yeah, I think he would, in the bush, he would eat me. Here we have a model of a sawmill. I remember my father-in-law, Tammy's father, he used to run one of these things.
It's so awesome.
But a lot bigger.
Yeah.
This is just a model size. But yeah,
Awesome.
my father-in-law Lyle Vesey, he had one of these in his backyard, and that's how he made his money. That's pretty cool. There's even an old anvil. There's something you don't see.
Look at that.
You don't see these much anymore.
That's awesome.
Maybe at an antique store or a museum like where we're at. Here's an old cream separator. When I was a kid, my mom and dad used to have one of these.
Remember that.
And then you gotta crank it with this cranks it, and then your cream gets separated up in here. And then later on, mom and dad bought an electric one. But as a kid, I remember this thing. And then there's the old Singer sewing machine. I can remember mom having something like that too. And here we have an old wood stove.
That thing's antique.
That's a very antique wood stove.
They don't say how old
Even
it
the
is.
old pot on it's cast iron.
Man, they don't say how old it is.
No, it wouldn't say.
But up there is the.
And there's another old butter churn. If I can get a better view at that. Yeah, the old butter churn, and here's the old cream cans. That's where they'd fill that up with cream and then it'd go to the creamery.
Hey Jay, we have one of these at home.
A carpet sweeper.
We totally do.
Yeah, we do have one of them at home. I don't think it's going to show that on film though. It's pretty dark in here. There's an old chair.
This is awesome.
Just trying to get more lighting, but some of the old
Like they had nice
pots and-
stuff, eh? Like they did. Like the porcelain and stuff.
Yeah,
But
a lot
up
of
here
neat-
is tools too. I don't know why they did that. They wrote here
They
about
probably ran out of room in here. Look at this. Here we have the old telephone switchboard.
I can just read it here.
I bet you kids nowadays are like, you know, what's this thing for? Well, that's how you dial the numbers.
And I'll patch you through.
Yeah, they patch you through.
That's cool. Way beyond our day.
Yeah, back then that was high tech.
Now this is styling.
What's that there?
Look at this bike. That is
There.
1949.
1949 little tricycle.
Wow, that's cute.
And you got the old lanterns.
This is 1908. Wow.
A 1908 typewriter.
Wow.
Check this out, everybody.
It's pretty good shape, actually.
Yeah, it is in nice shape.
It is.
That's an old sewing
Cut
machine underneath it.
grass. What is this? What the heck is
Oh.
that? Before
Maybe that's-
radios, we in use the order hoop was used to hand off orders to the train crew.
Huh.
What? I
Well, you
don't
got me
think
on
so.
that. There's an old wash tub. Imagine washing your laundry in that thing.
Not really. 'Cause you-
We have a little raccoon. And there's our common loon that when we're out and about, you come to lakes around here, well, you're going to see lots of these birds. In here, they got lots of information for you, and you come in and check it out and see what all the tourist attractions are here in Alberta. So it's handy to have.
It's awesome. Been living in Whitecourt this long and we never come in here. Well, we do, the sewer dome.
There's a meteorite that was found around here.
Oh, is it?
It's a
We
meteorite.
got one too. Oh no, we got magnetite.
Magnetite.
Right.
But I wonder if that meteorite was where we used to live, where they had that meteorite hit the ground.
Oh, Jay, do you want a little candy
Yeah,
bracelet?
there's old phones and cameras in the background.
Yeah, take it. Well, when you quit smoking, you kind of need to suck something.
So a little closer to the phones and the
Pretty
cameras
cool.
back there.
This is awesome. We came in and did our courses here, but
That one's for Fort Assiniboine.
Awesome.
It's just a little
Look
bit
at-
of the Athabasca River there. And then
Perfect.
we have Goose Lake as well.
okay.
This is just kind of directions to get out there, and then the actual directions are on the back of it.
Okay.
We also have Carson,
We got that
Pegasus.
one.
You got that one?
Yep.
Perfect. That is a popular one, so Carson.
Yeah, that's what's coming this year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming up.
June.
Yeah, June 13th and 14th.
Next
Party in the park here in Whitecourt.
Oh, it's early.
They even have a nice little sitting area out here outside where you can have your picnic. That's nice to have.
A&C did this.
Oh yeah, the ANC donated for this. There's a little park for the kids and everything. And then they even got a nice little flower garden.
This is cute.
Or a tree garden. Let's go and check it out, see what they got. See what they got in there.
This is really cute. Welcome to the Heritage Park.
Heritage Park Garden.
This is cute.
Let's check it out, everyone. Kind of neat, all different trees and shrubs that they put in.
All the bees are pollinating.
Yeah. That's awesome. See, there's always something here for the friends and family. Bring the kids out, whatever, and you can make this place your next adventure. It doesn't cost you a whole lot of money, but you can come and see everything. So we're going to go and see some of the antiques now. There. There's an antique cat, and Tammy's... Fire up, Tammy. Let's go make some trails.
This would be so cool. I need a mason jar.
Hey, where's your hard hat?
Right? Look at the mason jar.
Yeah?
26,180 hours on this thing.
Wow.
That is awesome. There goes my sucker. This is cool. You cannot not want to see that. That's cool.
Yeah, just think of the work this thing used to do.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's made some damage.
I wonder if it still runs. I bet it does.
It's in good shape, eh?
Yeah. Dahl and Son Construction. And here in Whitecourt, that's why we got Dahl Drive. But this was in front of that cat.
Yep. 27.
Purchase price $27,864.
Well, back
wow.
in that day, that's a lot of money.
Oh, you bet it was. It's a 1956 IHC TD18 182 series.
1950.
Awesome. Check this out. Now, what I think this is, it was for back in the day, the fire department. Probably pulled with a team of horses, and on the back, that had to have been to a tank. Was connected to this pump, and then they could run their hoses. Quote me, I could be wrong, but the looks of these red wheels, I think this was part of the
And the valves, eh?
back of the old fire department.
Lots
Is what
of
they
valves.
had.
Lots of valves.
Yeah, lots of valves running on it. So I think that's what it was. It had a water tank on it or something for fire.
The springs.
Is that ever neat? Well, that sleigh, they had it hooked to a team of horses.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem like
And
a
they,
lot along?
I would say they laid logs on here, and this is how they, in the wintertime, that's how they got the logs out, Tammy.
Fuck, that's so cool. I know, I like this stuff.
And this here, I'm not sure what they used this for, but it was definitely pulled with a team of horses.
Used it, I know it.
It could have been for an old rake at
Yeah,
one
that's
time.
very-
I can't tell you really exactly what that is. Here's an old plow.
Look
Pulled
how
by
long
an
it's
old
been.
tractor.
It's sunk right in the ground, eh?
Yeah, you can tell it's been sitting there for quite some time.
Even
Check
the
this little cat out.
Yeah,
This
that's
little
cute.
D2.
I could see Jay doing snow removal.
Oh, I could handle that running, doing snow and yard work with that little guy.
Isn't that cute?
And here's a RD6, a 1941 cat.
Well, there you go. This is
Check it out here. It's an RD6 cat, 1941.
here's your info.
Let's
here.
show you guys that. That's cool.
This one.
Here's the other side, that little cat. Tammy caught it with her. I told me whatever. It's a 1947 cat.
Cute.
Now that is really awesome.
It is cute.
All right, what we have here is a 1943 old scraper. Man, is that thing ever in good shape too? But now it's just a part of history, and it's an artifact. But it is really neat to come and see that. But this is what they did when they moved dirt and gravel, and that's an old scraper. Like, is that ever neat to look at? They also have, here's the trail system. You can walk around the town, but they do have a map here and stuff. Shows you the town itself, and then it's got your trail systems. From here,
Nice
But
trails.
nice trails you can all get around in, take the family for a nature walk, or
Well
take your mountain bike for a nice little mountain bike ride. But yeah, it's something to come and check out and see. Check this out, everybody. Here's an old antique grater. Now that's something you don't see unless, like I say, you come out here to a museum. This is where you're going to see stuff like this. I think that's really interesting when you see, you know, just like they used to use this thing for grading. I would have no clue how they would even operate this thing. But I think it's quite interesting. I hope you guys, as viewers, think it's quite interesting too. That's quite the piece of machinery. That's awesome. Now what we have here is an old, I'd say an old farm truck. See, something like that, you probably don't see that unless you watch the Beverly Hillbillies TV show. But that's quite interesting too. I'd say his door fell off, but that thing is just so antique, it's ready, you can tell it's falling apart. But it is really neat to see it. So I'll show you the front end of this bad boy. You can got a tree growing through it. Yeah, that's been there for quite some time, that thing. Here's another thing you don't see anymore. The telephone booths. Wow. Yeah, that is quite old, but that's definitely a telephone booth. I thought I'd show you guys again here the old farm equipment. That probably, back in the day, it was probably an old hay wagon. Maybe. I'm not sure on that. I think this is an old, this is an old rake. Or an old lawnmower, or whatever you want to call it, but it's kind of really neat to see. There's another one there. An old hay rake. I think that's exactly what that is. Quote me, I'm not that old. I think that's an old grain crusher or a baler. If you know what that is, now leave me something in the comments and let me know what it is. Here we have some more old plows. Yeah, if history could talk and tell you the stories. It's so neat.
Is this a rotor tiller or a lawnmower?
Or
what?
I think it's some kind of a lawnmower for doing around like hedges and stuff. I think. I could be wrong. There's an old set of harrows. I remember using them on the farm. Yeah, old plows are pulled with horses. Is what these are.
Alberta Rose.
And there's the famous Alberta Rose. I'll show you guys a picture of that.
Wow.
Check it out. Got to show you guys pictures of that. The old wild rose for Alberta. But yeah, so there's an old little sleigh to pull behind an old skidoo. That's awesome. So what we have here is the old Dahl Church, or Blue Ridge Church, from John and Audrey Dahl for this Heritage Park. But this church used to be in Blue Ridge, Alberta, and then they moved it here. So let's go inside and check it out. Well, it's even got the old wood stove in it. It's interesting. Yeah, it's got the old hard benches.
There's the bill of sale.
What'd you find, Tommy?
Bill of sale. Can you believe that?
What's the bill of sale?
This is a 1922 church.
1922. Oh, there's a picture of them moving it right there.
Church was built between
There's a picture of them moving it. If you guys can see that, I'm getting a reflection. An old piano. That's awesome. Is that ever neat?
Oh my lord. Look at this thing.
There's the right of about how the church was moved from Blue Ridge to here. It's interesting stuff here. There's the old bill of sale. Check that old cross out. Well, it's even got a rope around it. I bet you this was the cross maybe at one time that was on top of the building at one time, or
That's crazy.
it's even got a.
It's like Jesus' cross.
Yeah, I'm just gonna extend my camera. See, it's even got a rope around it.
This is in really good shape.
I don't know if that was donated to or. Or what the heck?
Look at this crap. This big old Bible
Oh, it's got what is that?
donated by June.
Oh, just just pictures.
And stuff. Wow.
Well, that's interesting. Showing you how the back view of the door is and stuff, but yeah, old hard benches and stuff, and yeah, this is where you'd be a Sunday morning in Blue Ridge.
Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Really interesting. I think it would have been more interesting to watch them move this thing. And it's an old church. All right, for the church, we're going to head down this little boardwalk they got. It's like stepping back in time. It's kind of neat. Check this old building out. I wonder where this came from. House?
Must have a write up somewhere.
Yeah, let's go inside and see. Or is it closed? Is it closed, Tammy?
Can't go in there.
Did you knock?
Yeah.
Maybe they're living in there.
Can't go in.
Then what we have here is an old horse, or for your horses, whatever, is an old buggy. And this is what they did, rode when they were going to town to go to their church. Yeah, is that ever something? Yeah, if the antiques can just tell stories. Is that ever interesting? But even, she's just weathering away. And we have here is an old cabin built in 1919. So we're gonna go inside and check it out. And there's the old cook stove or oven. Man, that is old. I don't know what the date is on that. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, there's the old table set. And they got the old piano. Now, I don't know if that must have been at one time, I think, a folding bed. And yes, they had a mattress back then. It's an old trunk. Wow, this is really quite interesting. Here's a picture of probably where this house was at one time, or cabin. It's interesting, though, I think. Maybe this was the family that had this place. Now what we have here is an old hunting cabin, so we gotta go and check it out. Oh, is this ever interesting?
Nice.
You even got the old wood stove? Yeah, it is nice. There's your counters and stuff.
Look how you built that table.
The table set's really
That
neat.
is cool.
Is that ever really interesting?
Gives it personality.
And there's your old traps. Actually, in my shop, I got a couple of them hanging.
Look at this. Like, this is fairly new.
What's this? Oh, it's a backpack. There, take that backpack to school, kids.
1950s.
Instead of old snowshoes.
No, pretty nice
And
cabin.
this was the bed.
Nice. Look at. I think.
I wonder what was this for?
You got cupboards.
I don't understand what that piece is sticking out for.
Here. Well, maybe they put their hides on there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they're personal.
What does it say here? Huh.
Maybe they set their gun there. There's an old handsaw that somebody built.
They did this over here.
Well, there you have it. The Forest Interpretive Centre here in Whitecourt, Alberta. You can bring the family and kids down. They can enjoy seeing some of all the old antiques. Beautiful walk trails that are paved. You can ride your pedal bikes on. So bring your kids down, and that's doesn't cost that much. It's all on donations. And if you like this video, maybe check out these other ones. I know you're going to like them too. Or even hit that subscribe button. But anyways, we're going to call it a day, and we'll see you guys on the next Measures Adventures. Have a great weekend, everybody.